I wanted to say thank you for taking your time to come sit with me. And we're live streaming to our Discord audience, and as well as we're recording this for some social media posts and a live full interview. But this is just gonna be a short and sweet chat. I know, so give a brief introduction. I'd love to have a brief introduction of yourself. But I know MegaFans and Green Rabbit Games entered into a partnership a while back, and we've been working together on getting some things out, and introducing the MegaFan system into the Green Rabbit Games Metaverse. And I'd love to hear more about you and Green Rabbit Games as a whole. If you'd like to introduce yourself and give me a quick rundown of Green Rabbit.
Perfect. So I'm Drake. I'm the operations manager / game director for Green Rabbit. I run all of our day-to-day business, like all of our day-to-day
Operations, everything.
operations.
I like to say keeping the wheels on the bus.
Yeah. And I also do make sure that the art is all in sync and the lore, and I also do a lot of the game design with the help of some other game designers. So I do a bunch of things within Green Rabbit. For those of you who don't know much about Green Rabbit, we started a year ago. Wait, actually, let me give me 1 second, because let me invite our Discord peeps to this.
Okay, perfect. No worries.
I just thought of that right now.
It's a good idea. I didn't think of it either.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we started about a year and a half ago. We started with a vision, and our vision was to create a social space that people can enjoy and hang out together and interact with a lot of game modules attached to it. And then basically the idea was to develop one game module fully, make sure that it works and everything within it works, and then leave a team there to work on that game and improve it and put out new content for it and all that. And then make a new team to go work on another game module. So the idea was to basically eventually have a hub world that has voice chat, text chat, some social activities, buildings that belong to different creators or communities, and activities within those, a marketplace, an auction house, player-owned apartments, all of that within the social hub. And then you can chill out and hang with your friends or whatever, and then be like, hey, we're gonna go run a couple races. So you go and you run races in go run some races. Or you could be like, hey, let's go play the shooting game, or let's go play the fighting game, or whatever. And the idea was always that these games weren't mini games. They weren't an afterthought. They were intense competitive PvP games, and scale them forever, basically. Add new maps, add new characters, add everything. When we first launched the project, we did an NFT sale, and that NFTs and those NFTs people use on our 2D crafting platform to create the armors that they use in the 3D world. So no two armors are exactly the same because there's a lot of RNG that goes into the process, and what like original rarities you had and all of that. So the armors at the end, there's no like two exactly. I mean, I guess over time with like chance, there are going to be armors that have like the exact same stats or whatever. But like it's very hard for that to happen. We do have like snakes are generally stronger than rabbits in general, but like there are like, oh, this rabbit had like a really good like boost on their strength, but like this snake might have had like a really bad one or whatever. So like it's very intricate, and it's very like, this is the way I like to play. So I'm trying to find armors that like have these stats specifically. So there's a lot of like little like micro adjustments that you could do if you're like really into that. Or you could just be like, hey, I just generally think that the rabbit play style is better for me than whatever. So you could get like as granular or as like surface level into it as you want to be. So currently we have the hub out and running that has voice chat, has text chat, and then we also have the player owned apartments out. Those are spaces that are made specifically for you. You can have a guest list to invite your friends over to your house. When they're in your house, you guys can use the proximity chat, and no one else would be able to hear you, so you can like have private conversations or whatever. And then you can also decorate the apartment. We have like a fully modular like decoration system, so you could put things like rotate them however you want and put them in whatever spaces you want.
Are these apartments NFTs of their own, or is it granted to every player?
Is.
Okay, everything in the entire system and Metaverse is in an NFT of its own. Even the furniture within the apartment?
The apartments are, the decorations within the apartments are NFTs. The armor skins are NFTs. Yeah, like basically everything that we can make into an NFT is an NFT. Like,
yeah, understandable.
We also have the gaming, the racing mode out. We have well, the racing module is out, and within that racing module there are two modes. There's practice mode, in which like if you're a free player, you can go in and just like practice.
We have the same thing at here at MegaFans as well.
Yeah, like free, like go just check it out, whatever, like walk around the world, do all that, practice your racing. And then there are standard races, and those are you pay Shell to enter them, which is one of our tokens. So you pay Shell to enter them, and then you have to have an armor also to enter them. And then at the end, the winners get the shell like distributed amongst them, and they also get Tortuga tokens, which is our premium currency, which currently is the only way you can get apartment decorations and skins and all of that stuff. So yeah, the next step for us is a PvP capture the flag kind of like hero ability game mode. We're not, it's still like very, very heavily under development. We're not like talking about it yet, but that is our next game module, as well as some like a tournament mode, which is one of the many things we're working with MegaFans on, is having a tournament mode that will have much higher rewards and like kind of a ranked system and all of that. we're also working on a mobile version of the
Oh
game
yeah.
because I know it's been a hurdle for a lot of people, and we really care to like involve as many people as we can into our game. So we do have a lot of our players who are um like playing the 2D crafting game on their phone,
Hmm.
and crafting their armor and doing all that, but they can't play the actual 3D game because they only have a phone and they don't have a PC. So that's also like in the works right now. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's a very like full encompassing breakdown of Green Rabbit. I know it's even further like what you have out. I remember when we originally got introduced to like testing and getting our a couple of our team members hands in. We didn't have as much as that stuff, so it's exciting to see how much you guys have grown even in just the past couple months. Which
Yeah.
is always a testament to this space. It's growing so rapidly and like exponential that most people like it's not a space people can. It takes a certain type of person to keep up in. But we talked a little bit about all the NFTs in your system. I wanted to get your overview, not just of Green Rabbit, but it's our main topic for today, or how are NFTs relevant in Web3 gaming? Do you think what are your opinions on, is it better for the future? Is it still like, we're still developing? Is it still like an egg that's being incubated right now? How close do you think we are till end software? Like when that's like, when Web4 gaming is going to start being developed? What do you think? We're still ways, in my opinion, we're still ways out from that. But I want to hear, how are NFTs relevant to Web3 gaming? Where do you think the space is now? And what do you think is the timeline for the space as a whole?
So I came into the space pretty really early on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hopped on probably at the very beginning. And okay, so I come from a gaming background. Like
Mm-hmm.
gaming is a huge, or was a huge part of my life. I'm trying to find time for it to be right now, but it always has been since I was a very young child, like at 2, like it was my passion. Uh, and I like throughout my entire life, and then even like after I graduated college, like I worked in game journalism, like it's just been an all-encompassing thing. And when I came to Web3, I was looking for games, like
Mm-hmm.
stuff we have in Web2. Like I wanted to play a shooter, or I wanted to play an MMORPG. Like I was here to kind of check out that scene. And unfortunately, what I found then were just like clicker games, uh games on like websites where you go and you click once and you wait for 3 hours or whatever and
Yeah.
come back and click again. And sure, I got like stuck into it and kind of like looked around and stuff. And it wasn't exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And the everyone's approach to it, I felt like was just wrong from the very beginning, where like the approach was, hey, how much money is this gonna make me? And
Yeah.
what I was looking for was like, hey, where's the fun game?
Yep.
Like that's what I want to do here. Um, so within the past, and that's why I got attracted to Green Rabbit like from the very beginning, because like I came in, I looked at the white paper, and it was the only game at that point that was even like putting it out there that they wanted to make a 3D game.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of projects made a lot of promises, and a lot of promises didn't happen. A lot of things didn't go through, all of that. And that was a risk that I knew was within like every project. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
just like inherently the risk you take when you back something like so early on in its life.
Yeah.
There's a very high risk of failure, whether that's like on Kickstarter or whether that's like in Web3. It's all kind of the same thing. And I knew that was a risk, like always, but like none of them even were attempting to make like
something
what I
bigger.
like would like call a game, you know, like
Mhm.
everything was like, hey, check this game out, and you go and it's like, well, that's a Facebook game, like
Yeah, it's very simple,
that's
very not that casual is the wrong term, but it's very basics, very bare bones. It's not taking that next step. It's like, hey,
exactly
we're one of the first games to launch, but it's like you like you said, it's like, oh, click a button here and then click a button there, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
exactly. So at that point, I hopped into Green Rabbit just as a fan, as a player, because I was like, well, at least these guys are trying to make something that
Mhm.
I think is interesting and I want to be a part of. If it works, then fucking great. Like
Yeah.
I'm all for that. If it doesn't, then that's the risk I take. And it, it worked out well. I'm happy now, and I'm like through this year and a half or whatever. Like I am where I am now. But over time, it seems like there's a schism right now
Mhm.
in within the NFT world. There are the people who want to stay with the old model, who want to stay with the play to earn,
Mhm.
and there are people who want to move to the model that makes more sense to me, at least, which is like the play and earn
Yes.
model, where it's like, come in, play a fun game, buy whatever you want to buy, don't buy whatever you don't want to buy. Maybe like a lot of new games don't have like no one's like asking like, hey, what's the ROI on this, what's
Yeah.
like, when am I getting my money back? It's like, hey, you made this cool ass skin, I want that skin as
Yeah.
much as I would want a skin in like Fortnite or Destiny or Counter-Strike or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'll buy the skin, I'll use it. If one day I don't want it anymore, I don't play the game anymore, whatever happens, I could sell it, which is honestly my view, like where I think the Web3 gaming space is going to end up landing is
Mhm.
a maybe some things that have like utility, like swords and shields and staffs and all of that, like in the game, like because there's a lot of MMORPGs, and I completely understand that, because like I played WoW for many years, and if I could at some point sell my like 2% mount
Yeah.
drop from
The
like the mythic raid and like get out of WoW, like yeah,
that's profit
I'd
in your
take that.
pants or in your pockets.
Yeah.
I know you actually brought
And
up.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, and I was saying like, and that mount while I was playing would have been a mount that I
Hmm.
used, that I had, that I liked, and I wouldn't sell at that point. But like maybe I have a better mount, so I'll sell this old one. Maybe I don't play WoW anymore, like right now. Maybe I'll sell my gear, my mounts, my whatever transmog, like, you know, like
Yep. Well, you're driving right into the view of how I viewed the future NFT space as well. In the case of, I'm really big into WoW right now. I'm playing Wrath of the Lich King Classic now that that's out and everything. But one of our biggest advisors and investors on Yavin from Cointelligence actually wrote a LinkedIn post about how he used to play World of Warcraft a bunch back in the day, and he was saying, he's like, it's one of those things where it's incredible. You get all this loot, you spend all this time creating this character, getting all the gear, and if Blizzard for some reason toasts that server or something happens and your character gets lost, that's it. You don't have control of those assets. That gear you rated 40 times for to get that rare drop doesn't exist anymore. It's just gone. You have no control over it. And that's part of his argument for like, that's why NFTs have a place in gaming, because like, oh, now that's my asset that I get to control. It's no longer under the control, should I say, necessarily of like Blizzard servers or anything of that sort. And then speaking of how you're talking about, I come from an extensive gaming background, so I try and relate everything in Web3 gaming to my experience in normal, should I say Web2 normal gaming. so I can best understand it. And I feel like that's how I help explain it to a lot of people that don't understand it. But you're saying, oh, you want to get out. That's exactly what I did in Counter-Strike when I was playing CSGO very heavily. I got really lucky in one loot box, sold that gun for, I think I sold it for, it was a P90 skin for $200, $300. I bought a bunch of other skins that I cared about more for cheaper. And then when I was like, oh, I'm done playing CSGO, I simply don't have the interest to play it anymore. I sold those skins, added that money to my Steam wallet, and I was like, oh, now I have money in my wallet that I can spend on games or anything in the future. Now, Steam's not following that NFT guideline, but that's a way to describe what you're talking about. Like, oh, there is a future for owning the assets and trading it for value or anything of that sort. And I think that's the best current like explanation of how it can evolve into, but we're still like you said, we're still fighting the play to earn aspect. MegaFans specifically is like, we want to, our games, we like our games, but they're not our final products. We want to move forward with partnerships with you. We've announced new partnerships with Ukinga and several other games that are in the works right now. But we want to heavily push for the play and earn. You want to enjoy actually playing the game, and if you make money on the side or profit or assets that you can sell or trade, that's an extreme bonus. But we want the games that we're supporting to be entertaining first and foremost, and we're pushing for that as well as our MegaFans team. So I completely understand where you're coming from and like how the NFT and Web3 gaming space is going to evolve.
Yeah, and I think there are like developers are now starting to realize that, and we're seeing like most games that are coming out now that have like an NFT base, most of them are now 3D games that like have aspirations of fun. And that's what they're promising. They're promising fun, not money, which is honestly it's not just the way I think the industry is going to evolve. I think it's the only way the industry is going to thrive.
Okay.
If we keep pushing and keep going down this play to earn road, there's only so much growth we can achieve, like as an industry, not as Green Rabbit, just as generally like the entire gaming NFT industry. That is kind of like there's a ceiling where you can't make, and that's kind of why like people, like honestly, people who've made the most money out of NFT games are people who hop in early and hop out early.
Yes.
Like they don't care about the game. They treat the NFTs as like stocks or whatever, like, and yeah, that model won't work. But if the core game is fun, if the reason people are there is because the game is fun, then like imagine you played Fortnite in season 1 and there's a skin that you got from that season, and that skin like they never like put it out again, and it's been like whatever years, and Fortnite is now huge, and now you have this thing that like someone else might pay you a bunch of money for, but it's not the reason you got it in the first place. And I think that's where the space is heading.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head in the case of, you said there's a ceiling. If we stick in the way it was, or like the play to earn space, there's a ceiling of how it can grow, how far it can go. But I think a lot of it is the way gaming is now, like Web2's typical gaming is, that's the way people were raised. That's how it's been in theory since. And you're not going to convert a lot of people, but the people that have been, and then you're getting bad mouth from the people that did try to convert, and then the games aren't fun. They're purely about, like you're saying, trading quote unquote stocks and making a profit. That's the more thing. Those people that took that step out of their comfort zone into Web3, had a bad experience, are coming back to the audience and are like, it's not worth it. But we need to make that change, like you're saying, of like, oh, the games actually have to be matter, and we have to create value for the users. The game itself has to be fun. That's base standard, has to be fun, entertaining. And then we can start adding like, oh, hey, there's this extra experience. If you have an NFT, you can do extra things that you couldn't do in the base, quote unquote base game. The way MegaFans is using it is, you can play our games without an NFT. It's perfectly fine. You can still, we naturally have the eSports system, so you can compete to win for prizes. You're playing against people worldwide for it. But if you have an NFT, you get it doesn't affect your gameplay. The gameplay stays the same and is still fun. And you can stake our NFTs. We're working it out so you can earn in-game tokens to keep playing the game through the NFTs. So if you have an NFT, you're collecting a share of all tokens that go through our system. It's a little too convoluted to go over in a short manner in this chat. But we're adding, the NFTs are designed to give additional benefits. It's designed for the gamers to get more out of their gaming experience within the MegaFans platform. And that's our personal philosophy is moving forward, is like we're saying the game has to be good first and foremost. And then the Web3 aspect of NFTs and more are additions, bonuses, gives the player extra ownership and extra utility coming from the NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, like how NFT games have a little part of them that is what you're talking about, where it's like an economy that like most other games don't need to care about.
True.
And it's something that the NFT game developers really have to like care about and
very true, very true.
And look at, and like how these things are perceived by people or whatever. But at the same time, like these things generally shouldn't like affect how the gameplay, like how fun the gameplay is at the end. So it's a delicate balance between making maybe like your token valuable or your NFTs valuable or any of that. So when someone wants to cash out, they like feel like there's an avenue for them to cash out. Or maybe like, I mean, honestly, also like maybe you play like full-time, like maybe you're a streamer or something, and like that little like off-ramp is like a little extra money in your pocket, like every month or whatever. Like that general like approach is right, and is like is part of the NFT gaming world, and is going to remain part of the NFT gaming world. Like you will see a lot of Web2 games have like each game calls it like a different thing, but they have like a vault that they put all of their skins in, and then every now and then they do like an event where they open the vault and people can get like older skins.
Yes.
I don't think that's something that is going to happen with NFT games, because developers know that retaining NFT value is important. If not, like it might not be like priority one. Like priority one is fun, and then that is priority two. But like also, you wouldn't see like NFT developers doing that, because they wouldn't want to devalue these assets for their players. So there's a that is always going to be part of it. But I do think that the games that will make the biggest splash, the games that will reach mass adoption, the games that are going to like, that you're going to start hearing about and like more traditional media outlets are the games that are going to be most fun instead of the games that are most profitable.
Yeah. I think I completely agree with you. I don't mean to derail us. We're actually starting to run out of time here. I wanted to ask really quick before we run out of time, do you have any upcoming announcements or anything you want to share about Green Rabbit that you can promote? Any shout outs? We can also drop links in, our community afterwards or anything of that sort. Do you have any big news coming soon that you're allowed to share?
Yeah.
Feel free.
We have a Halloween event coming up. Part of this Halloween event where we made skins for our anima armors. We made apartment decorations. We made these back pieces, like it's a cosmetic item that you can put on the back of your character, and it worked on all of the different skins and all of the different character models. So that's what's coming up soon. We also, like we were talking, like we have a tokenomic, we have like a token economy, and that's one of the things we've been working on recently. So we have a liquidity pool coming up with Taco. We are doing other things on the side to like also like help drive that and make sure that that all works. And we're working on the mobile game. We're working on the capture the flag module. It's great. Like, good times are ahead.
Good. I'm glad to hear. I know we briefly touched on it at the beginning, is like this is a crazy space. You can only, I know, especially with our development team and our marketing team, we're like, oh, we're trying to run at 1,000,000 miles an hour and we still can't keep up with what needs to be done and what needs to like go forward and be done on a certain time frame. So I completely understand. There's a lot of good things in the future. I would say most definitely for MegaFans as well. We have a lot of announcements coming out of partnerships and new game developers we're working with as well. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for taking some time out of your day to sit down with me. I know we
You're
got
welcome.
deep into it a little bit, and I was glad to hear another person's thoughts on it, because I kind of sometimes get locked into like, I know what my team members think about certain things, and we kind of bounce off, and I know what their answers are or what their thoughts are. So getting more conversation outside of our direct team is actually really nice. I always love it. But I wanted to say thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Awesome.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Everyone in the audience, we're aiming to do more live events like we did with our CEO earlier today, and today with Drake. Almost every Friday, we're working on building out a longer schedule for everyone here. But I wanted to say thank everyone for coming, and Drake, have a good one. I'm just gonna call it right here.
Thank you. Awesome.
Alrighty, have a good one, you guys.
Hi.